So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to switch from the Premium 7 factory radio to a Premium 8 radio out of a 2012 CC. And this one's all touchscreen, a little bit different, some different features, we'll go through all that. Not really going to be a how-to, but I'll show you some of the steps. So step one obviously is going to be remove the trim. So we're going to go ahead and do that with our pry tool. You just want to grab it from the back here and pull towards the front because it has hinges on the front, and then feed the wire through, so you don't get that stuck. And you can remove that. Once you do that, there's two more torque bits right here that you have to remove, so we'll do that now. Once you get those torque bits out, you just do the same thing and pull towards the front and then slide it up, and you can take that off. And there's a couple more wires, but I'm just going to set it out of the way. We don't need to remove those. We're going to remove this bottom trim piece, and then your radio is held in by these torque bits. And just a little tip for you guys, if you're taking your radio out, make sure to eject all your CDs before you take your radio out. So 3 days later, I finally got the wire that I needed to hook up my satellite radio, because there's no point in putting it in unless we're going to have satellite radio. There's some debate on what works and what doesn't with these radios as far as your controls on the steering wheel, but I'm not really worried. I know whatever we want to make work on this radio, we can make work, so that's basically what we're going to do. So I don't know much about these radios, and one thing I want to point out is when I first bought the radio, it came with a code. I entered the code, but then I've removed the radio and switched it back to the Premium 7 a couple times trying to figure stuff out. Just hooked it up again. You don't have to enter the code, so it must already be matched with this car now, which is good. I have the wire plugged into the back of the radio, I'll show you that, and like I said, you bypass the Sirius box right here where this green clip was plugged in and plug it right into the green clip. And I'm pretty sure it's just not working because we're inside, so I'm going to back out of the garage and show. So we figured out the larger wire was FM, we got that hooked up, so FM radio works. Yeah, it seems a little bit louder actually. I don't know, it probably has some more wattage than the factory radio. Find a way to run that satellite wire and then put it all back together now that everything works. So I taped the wire to this little tool I have here, and I'm gonna snake that up through the plastic and hopefully be able to grab it back here, and then we'll run the wire and make it all nice. So that couldn't have worked out any better. I pushed it up. There's the tool with the wire right there, so I'll just grab that, hook it up for Sirius, and then tuck the wire away. I'll just put a piece of tape around it and bundle it with the FM AM wires, so keep it nice and neat. Alright, so I taped up our extra wire there. I'm going to leave it next to the Sirius module. Going to put the cover back over it. I've got it, under the seat, up under there, so you don't see it at all. And pretty nice to the back of the radio. So for comparison, I wanted to show you guys what the current stock radio looks like at night. I think the red lights are alright, but it'll be interesting to see how it looks with a screen, and then hopefully the red lights around the side. Okay, so here it is sitting in the car with the car lights off. That's just the screen. So I'm going to turn the lights on and see what the outer lights around the radio look like. So it has the red lights to match the factory lights, pretty good. So my steering wheel controls do work for the radio. They do change the track and the volume. It's pretty much plug and play other than the satellite radio. I didn't change any pins. So on this radio you press the little musical note here, and that brings you to this screen where you can do your bass and all that stuff. And it also has the speed dependent volume control, which the old radio didn't have. I turned the touchscreen tone off, don't need that. So it was a pretty easy install. Now the aux works, everything works. Just had that little delay for the satellite wire. But yeah, not too bad, looks a little better. So there's a couple of things about the new radio that I don't really like. And that one being, to switch CDs you have to go selection, and then go to your file, and then pick the audio CD instead of just hitting the button like on the old one. Overall, pretty happy with the new radio install, and we got a couple more projects going, so subscribe and follow for some more R32 modifications.